So today's class is going to focus on relative atomic mass. So what's a relative atomic mass? Yeah, we will save the definition for later. So let me tell you something before. So atoms are weighed in comparisons and can be compared using a relative scale. So on this relative scale, an atom of carbon-12 is assigned a relative mass of exactly 12, and the relative masses of other atoms are compared to this reference point. Simply, that means carbon-12 is our reference point for determining the relative atomic mass of other elements. So for example, let's take magnesium. Magnesium has a relative atomic mass of 24.31, so which is twice as heavy as the relative atomic mass of carbon-12, which has exactly 12 relative atomic mass. So as you can see in this diagram, we have hydrogen here, carbon here, oxygen here, magnesium and sulfur. So carbon is our reference point. And in terms of carbon, hydrogen is 12 times less than carbon in terms of mass, and magnesium is weighs twice as much as carbon atom, and sulfur weighs twice as much as oxygen atom. So these are the common elements you'll find in most of the formulas. So this basically explains it. So what's a relative atomic mass? The relative atomic mass is the weighted average mass of an atom compared to 1/12 the mass of an atom of carbon-12. As it's a relative scale, values for relative atomic mass are dimensionless or no unit. So this is the symbol for relative atomic mass. And remember, if you are told to write the definition of this in, for example, in an exam setting, you have to write it word for word, and make sure that the crucial points in the definitions are there in your answer. For example, the weighted average mass. If it has 2 points for a definition, you have to include this and this as well. So don't forget that. So it's time for fun. So meme of the video. I'm sure most of you resonate with this because I do a lot. Remember when I was in high school or middle school, when people are not ready for the test, what they do is like they give silly reasons as to why they shouldn't be writing the test. They'll be writing eventually, but they give reasons to delay or stall the teacher. Something like, how many points is this? How long is it? Do you have a pencil I can borrow? What if we don't finish? These questions are rhetorical, and yeah, most of the time the teachers ignore it. So I hope you resonate with this. So I know by now you may be wondering why carbon-12 is chosen as the reference point and why not hydrogen or oxygen. Or in fact, in the 19th century, hydrogen used to be used as the reference point until 1900 to 1961, where it was changed to oxygen. So the relative atomic mass of all elements used to be 1/16 of the atoms of oxygen, and it was later changed to carbon. Carbon is chosen because it's the most abundant stable isotope of carbon. It's the most abundant because carbon is everywhere, literally. You can find carbon in the foods you eat, in plastic bags, everywhere. If you have heard me attentively, you realize that I've used a new term here, isotope. So in chemistry, we define isotope as atom of the same element with the same number of proton and different numbers of neutron. So any natural sample of an element will be made up of a mixture of isotopes, and we will learn more about isotopes in another video. So here we have the periodic table. The reason why I brought this periodic table in my explanation is for you to know where the relative atomic mass is spotted in the periodic table. Let's take carbon for example. This carbon, the symbol of carbon, is the sixth element on the periodic table, which is the same as the atomic number, and the relative atomic mass is 12.01. So this is where you find the relative atomic mass. So this specific periodic table is used in the IB diploma, and there are different versions of the periodic table where you will see the relative atomic mass written with no decimal points, but in IB we use decimal points. Remember when I was in IG, we never used decimal points. So if you're doing IG, you might not use decimal points in your calculations. So I will link the chemistry data booklet for IB in the description, so check it out. So that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. We will be back. I'll be back with another video. Please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.